Utah. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Hey, you held him to 20 points, man. You gave us a chance at the end, but I got 3 words for you. You like that? Let's do it, baby. All right, let's go get it.
Let's get it on a Feedback Friday here on Purple Daily Vikings entertainment, where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. The show is presented in part by our friends at TCL, which has award-winning TVs for any budget, any space, all with stunning picture quality. TCL makes more than just TVs. They offer mobile products, audio devices, home appliances. TCL brings you joy and simplicity through innovative technology. You can learn more at TCL.com. And a quick shout out to our friends over at 3Jack. Declan, if you're looking for a great spot for lunch in the Twin Cities area, North Loop, Minneapolis, and if you like golf, this is pretty much a fantasy land for you.
It really is. Great patio, great simulator bays, and great food options at 3Jack. You know, maybe you want to get a happy hour before the Twins game. You can go stop in at 3Jack and get a little cold one on that patio. Maybe you're looking for a little lunch special at your work function or a little happy hour. Go check out 3Jack. It's not just golf simulators and bay. They have great food options like the loaded nachos, great chicken sandwich, steak sandwich. Are you kidding me? Talk dirty to me. Go to 3Jack and 3Jack.com to learn more.
Judd, are you preparing yourself mentally? Because we are 2.5 weeks away from training camp starting.
I am so ready for it to start. Yeah, absolutely.
Got your sunscreen?
What is it, the 7th today? Yeah,
I got my sunscreen. I got my hat. I do need to get some sunglasses, which I don't have right now. So that's going to be my big addition for training camp. But this is as excited as I've been just to see an evolution of where this team is going, because I actually think there's a lot to be optimistic about. I'm pretty convinced that the win total will come down for sure, but I don't think that's reason to despair by any means.
I feel like I've never seen you in a pair of sunglasses, ever.
I rarely wear them. I should wear them more. It's not good not to, but I rarely don them. Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I need to have them on now at my age in the sun.
When you're doing your morning and evening judds, you always love to sometimes take on or off the glasses.
These suckers,
is that going to be like your Bret Hart moment? Are you going to take these off and put them into a fan? What are you going to do here?
Well, the problem with my sunglasses is I'm going to go get some at Target, so they're not going to be prescription. And so because of that, that's though, fine. I don't operate as well. The reason why these are on so much is because with my contacts in, I can't see close unless I've got my glasses on. So I'm just going to have to remind myself, much like with sunscreen, that it's important to wear the glasses.
You know what you could do, what old people do, is they get those big kind of wrap around. It's like the sunglasses that fit over your prescription glasses.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You could just be rocking those.
I don't have a lot of pride, but I have too much pride.
This is about safety and functionality.
I know, but there's a line to be drawn, and I'm not going to wear those. Not quite yet. I am not to the point of dress socks and shorts. I feel like what you're going in is the direction my dad would wear shorts,
some leg
and
wraps,
and dress socks. Very ugly look. So I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too. I don't remember you ever wearing sunglasses. So you're saying when you're driving, and sometimes depending on the time of day, the sun is just screaming into your eyes, you don't wear sunglasses.
No, I never wear sunglasses.
What do you do? So you just hope that you can somehow use the visor and
I visor it up
strategically. Okay.
Yep. And the only time that I really have a problem is if I'm going around a corner and my windshield has moisture on it, and then it reflects the sun and I can't see a damn thing.
Sounds really unsafe.
But I try to make sure that
$5 to get sunglasses.
I know. I'm telling you, that's why I'm going to have some sunglasses.
I can't see.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Today on Bring Me the News.
Who's this
I'm
guy
not saying
barreling through 3 lanes of traffic going the wrong way? I can't.
They had 100 at Excelsior Boulevard.
It's the stoplight that concerns me if I can't see if it's green or red.
Yeah,
that's what
you should.
I don't care about switching the lane thing. That's fine.
I don't know if you should be driving.
Well, no, I just make sure that my windshield.
Is that green or red? I don't know.
Most important thing.
The condensation or ice in the winter that's the worst when your windshield has an ice buildup and the sun hits your windshield and then you can't see a damn thing.
You're literally listing all of the reasons why people wear sunglasses in their cars.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I should have a pair. I'm not defending myself.
This is amazing. I love Judd. It only took Judd 53 years. You've been driving for 3.5 decades, and finally he's like, yeah, I should wear some sunglasses.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm concerned about it in training camp practices for
more than driving. Yeah.
Purpose of protecting my eyes. Actually,
got to see who the nickel cornerback is before I can see what the light color is. But glad we've reached that point in Judd's career here where he gets sunglasses. So anyway, it's a live Feedback Friday here on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. So if you could click the subscribe button and the like button, you can help us spread the word about this awesome community of Vikings fans. And we'll take your comments on the screen here too. As is it Moshing Ginger 99 says Dex is dying.
It's one of the funniest Judd moments in the show's history.
It's a great. Okay, Razorbacks1 chimes in. Also, throughout the week, you can send us comments through the Score North app. There's a feedback tab in there. We try to get to as many as we can. And so we'll start with this one. This is actually from Razorbacks1 on YouTube. Vikings fan for over 50 years, but I'm buying Lions and Jared Goff. They win the division this year, and the Vikings fight for a wild card spot in the final game of the year. A lot of people reacting to you and Tyler Fornes. We're talking Lions a little bit on Purple Access this week.
Yes.
So what is the proper level of fear of the Lions, who started 1-6 and then were one of the hottest teams in the league? They beat the Vikings. They finished above 500 for the first time in 5 years. They are the betting favorite to win the NFC North across almost every sports book. What is the proper level of Lions fear?
So I don't think it's fear. I think it's a statement. I think it's this: prove it. You are the Detroit Lions. Prove it. You got off to a bad start and rebounded, which is great. Very noble. But you know what? Those are the type of teams that if they have a semblance of talent, because at 1-6, there's no pressure now. Like on the players are like, okay, we're 1-6. And then they started to play up to their potential. So I guess I don't get the whole, I'm not saying that they're going to be bad. Okay. And they could win the division. But I don't get like the word fear or, oh my gosh, they played so well. Well, okay, first of all, they didn't start well. But second of all, and here's the thing, and yes, and I talked about this with Dex and Tyler on Purple Access yesterday, but here's the thing that keeps stopping me. Small sample size, I know. Dan Campbell in the game here went for it like 4 or 5 times on 4th down. And it was brilliant. It worked. And then when it mattered most, when there was some pressure on, he tried to kick the field goal and it cost his team a game. I can't get past that. Like, I am not ready. I'm not sure about you guys. I'm not ready to anoint Dan Campbell. In fact, my non-anointing far more reflects on the coach than Jared Goff probably. But I'm not ready to be like, okay, Dan Campbell has figured this thing out. And let's call a spade a spade. He's got some Ticey tendencies, which speaks to ebbs and flows, right? Terrible start, great finish. Great start, terrible finish. So my statement to the Lions before I get super excited about them is prove it. You got to prove it over the course of a 17-game season.
Yeah. What about you, Declan? You share the namesake of the quarterback. So what is the proper level of Lions fear here in 2023?
Well, actually, my fiance is hoping for a Jared Goff Vikings signing or trade someday, because then she can get Goff as a Vikings jersey. That is part of her love for Jared Goff, because she wants that for her own namesake when she inevitably changes her name. But for the Lions part, I like Ben Johnson. I think he's a really good offensive coordinator. He's probably going to be an NFL head coach next season. That offense is really good. Jared Goff is solid. I just think the common denominator in like flip-flopping and try to figure out what side of the coin or where this teeter-totter is going to go is head coaching. And I do not trust Dan Campbell. Tyler Fornes made a good point. I do think he works in Detroit. Like, Dan Campbell would not work in Dallas. Dan Campbell would not work in New York. It would not work in bigger market teams. But I think it works in Detroit to a degree. But I don't think Dan Campbell is the difference maker that puts the Lions over the top. And I think head coaching does matter in the league. And therefore, no, I don't fear the Lions. They're a good team, but I don't fear them.
I still think the Vikings are better. Here's the crazy thing, man. So the Lions had a top 5 offense last year. They were fifth in points, 4th in yards, just off scoring offense. This was only the second time since 1997 that the Lions have had a top 5 scoring offense. Mm-hmm. So some of this is, and again, they were above 500 for the first time since, in 5 years. They have only been to the playoffs 3 times since 1999. So we're kind of on the edge of something we don't see with the Lions, which is an offensive firepower playoff team. Really, the last time you could say anything close to that was maybe it was a running game that was explosive with Barry Sanders in the mid-90s, where they had like 3 different top 5 offenses. In 95, they were the second highest scoring team. 97, they were the 4th highest scoring team. And then I believe it was Sanders' rookie or second year, they were a top 5 offense in 99. So they were doing it with the running game. So basically, in my life, we've never seen an aerial attack passing game top 5 Lions offense before. And it's like my brain kind of short circuits. I don't know what to do with this information. I don't. It's like when the Timberwolves are going to be good again at some point, like Western Conference Finals. Like some things you can't compute in sports. Lions having a top 5 aerial attack offense and a chance to make a playoff run. I guess I need to see it too. Judd makes a really good point about 1-6. Congratulations. When the pressure came off, and they might say, well, there's a lot of pressure. Like Dan Campbell's job was on the line. Okay, but like when you're 1-6, people expect you to lose. You're not exactly getting maybe the best scouting week from your opponent too, right? Like these are human beings. They might not be grinding as many hours of film if they're facing a bad Lions team, right? So what can they do now that the spotlight's on them for the first time in a long time? So I still think the Vikings are the best team. The Lions are no longer the garbage Lions. Dan Campbell still has some weird tendencies as a strategic coach, but I don't know. I need to see more.
Why are we also assuming, because I think it's fair that when we start to talk about the Vikings expectations for 2023, that there is a certain group, and they're exactly right, that stops us and says, that defense, like Brian Flores should help, but that was a terrible defense. Why are we assuming the Lions defense is going to take a huge jump, which, by the way, for this team to win a division, it would need to take a jump like this. That's a very comparable thing. Mm-hmm. The Detroit defense isn't exactly, or was not exactly good. So I guess I would ask the same question about the Detroit defense that some people ask about the Vikings defense, which is, okay, are we just supposed to assume that defense is going to take a huge leap because of personnel changes? I mean, until we know, there's just a lot of variables here. I feel like the Lions are being picked because, rightfully so, a lot of people are saying the division's not that good. Somebody has to win it, so it might as well be Detroit. I don't know if that's a really, really sound theory in this league.
Yeah. Let's keep going here on Feedback Friday. Lacey Hawes says, good morning. I woke up this morning thinking about something I don't think we are taking into account enough. Yes, it turned out that last season's team was a fraud, technically, but only because they really overachieved, not because they weren't a good team. Ultimately, what held them back was having the 31st ranked defense. And yes, there were other opportunity areas that could have been better. And maybe we wouldn't have beaten the Niners, Eagles, Chiefs in the end. But it was a darn good run with a flawed roster. This season, I don't think we're taking into account how much better the team can be with a marginally improved defense. So much is said about how we won't win 11 one-score games again, or how luck won't be on our side. But truthfully speaking, if the defense is able to just stop someone sometimes, then we're probably not in one-score games anyways. And that's the thing. Like, defense is so volatile from year to year. You go and look at some of the greatest defenses of all time, the mid-'80s Bears, the Buccaneers, and the Ravens from the early 2000s. They're not number one. Usually it's like number 1, number 5, and then they're 20th, right? Or the Vikings, like 2017. It's fleeting because it really relies on 11 guys playing together, being healthy, everything. So the same can be true the other way around. You make a couple tweaks. Logic says that with a couple tweaks in Brian Flores, that you're not going to be number 1, but you're not going to be one of the 2 or 3 worst defenses in the league. So yeah, I agree with this. People aren't taking into account the positive regression that you might see. Oh, you're not going to win 11 one-score games. Well, okay, but maybe your defense is 10 spots better.
8 fourth-quarter comebacks. Kevin O'Connell right now, I guarantee you, has no interest in that. Like he's not like, well, we set the template last year, let's go for 9.
Yeah.
The offense, to flip sides of the football, the offense needs to be far more consistent. Like, the whole luck thing was also built by the fact that the defense, yes, was garbage for a lot of the season, but you know what? The offense disappeared for huge amounts of time as well. So yeah, I don't think like the formula or the stew or the recipe of what was the regular season success of this team a year ago is not the recipe now. Like the recipe is this. There should be far more games where you pile on points. I'm not saying that they're going to, but that's the recipe. So yeah, I struggle with this whole thing of, well, you can't replicate that. You don't want to. You don't want to disappear offensively in the second and third quarters consistently, which is, I think, can be proven what this team did.
It's pretty rare how often the Vikings, even before Kevin O'Connell, like going back to Zimmer, that if you go look, it's pretty rare how often they score 40 points. It's pretty rare how often they just open up a 20 or 30 point lead on someone and step on them, right? Which the best teams in the NFL, there's going to be the Chiefs, the Bills, right? The Eagles. There's going to be 3 or 4 wins where it's just a no doubt victory. And I feel like for years, there's been a couple different deviations from that, but the Vikings wins are all nail biters. Very rarely are they just like up 38-6 on somebody or something and are stepping on a team, right?
Yep.
It's kind of crazy. Let's see here. Ride moto every day. I hope KJ Osborn wins the 2 spot in the receiver pecking order and balls out. I definitely can't put Addison ahead of KJ right now until he earns it through actual games. We forget KJ Osborn was sitting behind 2 guys, and now he gets his shot to maybe be a number 2. What do you think?
I tend to agree with where he is coming from, and I will remind him that part of the reason why Addison was drafted by the Vikings, above and beyond the fact that I think that they think that he's talented enough to take over the 2 role at some point, though, is because the Vikings know full well with their financial predicament, if KJ Osborn has a good year, he's gone. Because he's going to go to another team and become potentially a 1, but for sure a 2.
Yeah.
So like this assumption, I feel like there's become a bit of an unfair assumption, and perhaps we have played into this as well, that KJ Osborn, well, he's a 3, he's not that good. At least part of the thinking is if KJ Osborn does what the Vikings want, he's going to walk for sure. So this is not just a KJ Osborn is a 3 for life. This is actually a preemptive strike to make sure that if and when Osborn walks, there's another receiver that they trust to take over that 2 role full time. So if like KJ Osborn is the 2 for the first 4 or 8 games or the first portion or more of the season, I'm not going to be shocked, but that is going to put him in a position to cash in somewhere. And I don't think it's going to be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he gets a decent payday in free agency next year from someone else. You know, like we saw Christian Kirk get paid by the Jaguars last year. You're going to see wide receivers just get paid. You know, I think what I've seen from some Vikings fans is, you know, with Addison being behind the ball of KJ Osborn, if you will, that, well, Olabisi Johnson was ahead of Justin Jefferson throughout all of training camp and through the first 2 weeks of the season. And that was obviously a humongous mistake. Now, I think Olabisi was coming off his rookie year. KJ's been in this offense now for 3 years. It's not the perfect comparison, but I love that Jordan Addison isn't stepping in here and being asked to be the 1 or 2. He's asking to be the 3rd or 4th option, and he can kind of gradually work his way in. Hopefully he's healthy and hopefully he gets reps and he learns the playbook and all that stuff in training camp, because I don't see it just as KJ Osborn blocking him, but I like that potential that you're not asking Jordan Addison to be your saving grace on offense either.
We're going to give Ride Moto every day the weekly cheers, the Surly Before I Die cheers, one of the great inventions in the history of beer, Judd.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. And look, our friends at Surly and the Before I Die beer reflects the goal of Sports Dad, of Phil, of Declan, of the Purple Daily family. Before we die, we want to see a Super Bowl championship from the Vikings, and their beer right now is available. So you know what? Start your training camp now, folks. It's 2 weeks until the players actually hit the field at TCO. You can start your training now. Head to your a bar or liquor store today. Before I Die. Now, by the way, in 12 packs as well. In 12 packs. So prepare yourself with the delicious taste. In fact, I did enjoy a couple myself last night. Before I Die from Surly Brewing, because it's never too early to start training for the ultimate goal in February, hopefully, of a Super Bowl championship.
Maybe that training includes going to Summit Orthopedics as well. We thank them for their partnership with us here across Score North. If you're dealing with any type of pain involved with ankles, feet, back, knees, shoulders, you name it, Summit Orthopedics can help. No referrals are needed. They offer same-day appointments. And if you're really hurting, they also have urgent care 7 days a week from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. across 25 locations in the Twin Cities and greater Minnesota area. Learn more at summitortho.com. Summitortho.com.
Chad BB Stan says Dex has been hitting the gym. No. I haven't.
Wow.
I haven't been in a gym. Fun fact. So 2020, I was the classic guy who got a gym membership at the new year. I have not been back at the gym since Kobe Bryant died. That's where everyone knows where they are, when significant
You were at the gym
die.
when you saw that news?
And everyone at a Planet Fitness stopped what they were doing, and everyone just looked at the TVs. Everyone kind of remembers those, Michael Jackson, Kobe Bryant, significant people that obviously died prematurely. I haven't been back since. I thought it was a sign that I should not be in the gym. Kobe is dead.
How long did you pay for that gym membership until you canceled not using it?
Couple months. Probably a couple months. I let it linger. I mean, it was $9 a month, for the classic Planet Fitness. Dex here, and if Planet Fitness wants to sponsor Purple Daily, I'll go back there, no problem.
Will you go back to the gym
100%.
if you get an endorsement?
100%. 100%.
What did you do at the gym?
I did treadmill. I just did treadmill to warm up because I don't need a lot of cardio for this great body I have here. And then my buddies had a little plan that they did, and I would just do what they told me to do. I probably didn't know what the hell I was doing, that classic
like dumbbells
guy.
or are you bench pressing? What kind of
no,
stuff?
No, bench pressing. No, dumbbell stuff, and then some of the machines. I can't remember the one you pull down.
Stuff. Hey girl, you want to do some dumbbell stuff?
Yeah. Luckily, I went to the gym knowing I don't plan to pick up chicks at the gym. That was not my move.
I don't think most people there are some people. But people go to the gym to get in better shape and feel good about themselves. Right?
And what's the thing now where we have people if you stare at something too long, someone will take
there's
video of you
TikTok
and put on TikTok and call you out and try to.
A lot of gotcha TikTok videos.
What's this all about?
You got to be careful. Well, just don't be staring at people in the gym. But I would also say stop secretly filming people in the gym too.
Yeah, I agree on both those.
Maybe just nobody should be allowed to film on the gym floor. If you want to go and take a video after your workout or something, that's great. But if you're gonna there's 10 people around, just quit secretly filming people. Yeah, it's weird.
Kind of weird.
Super weird. I don't know. Anyhow, all right, back to the feedback here. Let's see what else we got. This one's actually a question from House of Highlights Instagram account. Would you rather be given $1 million, just straight up, here's $1 million, or have 10 carries in an NFL game in which you have to gain 5 yards on one of the carries, and if you do, you get $10 million?
Nope. Give me the million.
I've seen this now out there. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, over the weekend, Eric Eager, our friend, was fighting with people about this, and he's exactly right. And
I had beers with Eric last night. I like Eric Eager.
Great guy. Very, very, very smart and has a lot of very common sense takes. But one thing is, I guess the dude bros were out being like, I could get a couple yards. And I tweeted this back. I said,
the offensive line needs to do their job in theory, right?
But here's what I tweeted back. And here's where I'm confused. Unless you play the sport, okay? Because it's these questions are could you carry, 5 times and get a couple yards or something? Or, give me 10 carries, I'll get a yard. You realize after the first time that most of us got hit, you would be probably taken away in an ambulance. If you were if this is a National Football League, I am going to take on, let's just take the worst team possible. Let's take the current incarnation of the Cardinals or Buccaneers or something. So we're shooting low here. Give me 10 carries to get, 4 yards or something like that. Okay, I might get a yard. I don't know. But as soon as I get hit, which will probably be in the backfield, I'm going to be stretchered off the field.
Okay, so I would take the $1 million, but I would have a couple questions. So obviously, if I choose the 10 carries option, I want to know, does the defense know what's happening? Does the defense know that I'm going to get the ball? Because if I can like take advantage of a play action or like not a play action, like a draw play, right?
You're gonna die.
Or some sort of like trickeration. Could I?
No, but you're going to get hit. They're going to hit you.
Not necessarily. Not if you like just slide to the ground.
Okay,
can you give yourself let's say there's a let's say my offensive line's amazing. There's a wide open gaping hole on the 8th carry. I can't just run through and like slide and give myself
I don't think we as sports fans understand what goes on the field from what we watch. Like we're thinking to ourselves, okay, if we just slide and give ourselves up, that by the way, that's a quarterback. We're talking about you lining up in the backfield. You are a running back. They're going to try to kill you.
You don't get the same protections too.
No, you get no protection. Yeah. Exactly.
And just the fear. Okay, you're in the backfield. There's a quarterback and there's 5 guys in front of you. There's 11 guys looking at you on the other side, ready to maul you and kill you. Like think about when you're getting off an airplane and how like congested and awful it looks. There's all these people in the way. And you could maybe think, maybe if I break away. No, you will not be able to break away.
There's lizard people in green hoodies.
There's lizard people.
Yeah.
And
it's terrifying.
Not the running back one. Remember the Broncos in 2020 when their entire quarterback room got COVID and they had to start. I just found this Kendall Hinton, who was a college quarterback, played college quarterback.
No chance.
He completed 1 pass.
Right, but he probably ran. He probably ran for some yards, you know.
But it still goes back to the point of like, oh, I could complete a pass or I could run up the middle for 5. No, you could not.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't.
I agree. I largely agree.
If my choice was 10 mil to do what was just suggested or 0, I would walk away with 0. I wouldn't do it.
So you're saying, wait. You're saying if option A is, I'll just say $1. Here's a free $1, Judd. Yes. Go to the vending machine.
Yes.
Or option B, you get option B, you get 10 carries in an NFL game to gain 5 yards, and it's $100 million. $100 million, dude.
I'm out.
$100 million.
I don't have kids. I don't have a family to support beyond Dawn and Stella. No, I'm out. I'm not doing it. I'll die.
I mean,
now I'm 53.
there would be major risk of like a 53-year-old man. Who doesn't go to the gym on a regular basis, right?
And Dex would probably get hurt badly, but I don't think he died.
Broken in half. God is my witness.
Unclear. You're unclear. You think I would stiff arm a linebacker and run for a touchdown? No, I would get killed too.
I think you'd get hurt, but I don't know. Like I would probably die. My heart would probably explode.
Phil looks like he might have a chance to put 100 up on the board. Was it?
53. I ain't doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I do power walking on an incline on treadmills, and so therefore I might have a chance to gain a couple yards. But other than that, okay, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know in the YouTube comment section. A lot of people asking questions about people watch the pie chart episodes. Let me sum it up with one comment here. This is from Ryan Snavely. I might read a couple of these actually. There was nothing therapeutic about those pie chart episodes. All it did was piss me off remembering how many times the Vikings shot themselves in the foot and panicked in big moments. 2 golden opportunities to get to and probably win a Super Bowl were choked away in 09 and 98. These are 2 examples of why this franchise gets no respect nationally, and it will remain this way until the Vikings win a championship. Just one before I die. And then, let's see here. Well, Bad Dad Joke wants us to do the 99 pie chart. The loss to the Rams in the playoffs.
Oh.
Where they gave up 5 straight touchdowns in the second half.
That's the Jeff George game. He dropped the ball and ran the other way. Speaking of having no interest in dying, Jeff George qualified that day.
Yeah. So, yeah, we appreciate so much feedback on those pie charts. Some people saying, like, screw you, why would you do this?
Well,
it's July, man.
I went into those curious about how, especially the 98 and 2009 games, like, okay, what's this going to be like? I agree with that person completely. I came away like I'm now more triggering. Yeah, like there was nothing. Those 2 pie charts in particular, 0 therapy.
Lucas says, as a newer fan since 2019, this is Lucas from Germany, by the way. He says, I'd like to ask you a question about the 2009 season, the devastating ending, but why couldn't they recreate their regular season success in 2010? They brought Favre back. but they did not have the same success as one season earlier. Would love to hear your opinions on this topic. I will say somewhere in the archive of Purple Rewind on the YouTube channel, I believe we did a deep dive. Was it you and me, Chipper, some combination did a deep dive on the 2010 season?
I mean,
Yeah,
Sage
we've done it a
joined us
few times. You guys did
Okay.
it together. Judd, me, you, and Brian Murphy also did it.
Pelissero
towards
did
the end
one
of
too.
2020 as well.
Yeah.
We all took our shot.
Yeah, everyone took a shot.
I mean, everything went wrong that year. 2010, you can't. It was a textbook example of why you can't just run it all back and cross your fingers. The chemistry gets weird. Players age out. There's also just like this hangover feeling sometimes. You know, teams that get to the Super Bowl and lose, it's hard to come back and just keep going and fighting the same way that you did because it was such a grind. So, yeah, I guess like the headline is Favre was an old grandpa in 2010.
Well, and day one of training camp, when we showed up in Mankato in 2010, Sidney Rice went on the PUP list because guys coming off a year like that, guys rightfully so, want to get paid. And Sidney Rice was like, pay me or I'm not going to have a surgery I need. So everything went wrong. And it was, if you ever want to know, especially probably all sports, but football, why you don't bring everybody back. Let's get the band back together. That is the example A is 2010 Vikings.
Yeah. Will Eason says, hey guys, been a huge fan since I found the show a couple years ago, been a Vikings fan since 1998. Last season, I actually proposed to my soon-to-be wife during a tour of US Bank Stadium before the Week 1 win over the Packers. She was a confused Patriots fan from Connecticut and always said when I put a ring on it, she'll be a Vikings fan. So I thought, what better way than to do it at the 50-yard line? So I'm taking her back for Week 1 against Tampa Bay. Would love to make it special again as we're getting married on July 21st. Want to know if you guys could give us a shout-out one day because she gets stuck listening to the shows when we're driving places. And also, if you knew I would be, let me see here. I probably shouldn't read some of this. Hold on. This might be back channel information here. First of all, shout out to Will and your soon-to-be wife. Congratulations, getting married in a couple weeks. I don't think he says her name in here.
Well, dude, you got to give us a name.
I'm just gonna see. He has. I'll get back to him offline about this.
Whoa.
This other thing. I don't want to spoil anything.
No, I know. But I mean, I wonder what he's asking for.
You know what? Actually,
You're gonna do it?
no. I'll hit him up offline.
Okay.
But Will, here's your shout out. Congratulations, man.
Include the fiance's name next time because I guarantee if she hears this, she's not going to be pleased that she didn't get her name included.
And Judd can just forget the name 10 seconds later and then call her something.
Phil
totally
will read
different.
the name. It doesn't matter if I know it, but Phil will read the name. What she's going to say is, how could you forget to include my name, Will? Because your name's there. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm preparing people for marriage, okay? I'm trying to help them out.
Yes. I believe you said a couple weeks ago that marriage is a 30-year contract negotiation, is how you characterize it.
It's a ton of give and take. Yes. It's a lot. Yes.
It's just constant jockeying for position.
Brzezinski of my house. I am a capologist in my house. Between Dawn and
if you're
Stella
the Rob
and me,
Brzezinski,
yes.
what is Dawn then in your house?
Oh,
she's the Wilfs.
See, yeah. I don't run, to quote Sam Cassell. Some men run at their house, some men run around their house. I am the latter, not the former.
Tyler Nelson chimes in and says, I recently saw an article that stated Con Air as one of the biggest improbabilities of success among 90s movies, which we did review on Movie Reviews with Mackie and Judd.
It was good. Real good.
But that it had one of the biggest improbabilities of actually being a successful movie because it had a ridiculous script, a terrible Southern accent by Nicolas Cage, some heady topics like sexual assault and a serial killer who kills children. But it somehow all came together and makes for a really fun ride of a movie. So here's my question for you guys. What Vikings team or player in your mind was going to fail, but then ended up being a fun or very productive team or player?
What Vikings team or player or
got to be Case Keenum, right?
Yeah,
Case Keenum.
That's a good one.
I don't think it's gonna make.
I'm trying to think of teams because there have been years where you don't expect much, and they pop up and play well too. Actually, you know what qualifies as one for a team? 92, Denny's first year, because that, Bernsey had been blown out. That team looked like I don't think mess is fair, but it certainly looked like it was on the downslide and was going to take some time. And if I'm not mistaken, they beat the Magic Man, Don Mikowski, in week 1 in Lambeau a few weeks before Favre took over quarterback, made the playoffs. Now they lost, but that was a fun ride because and at that time, Green was, and I say this without being a smartass, Dennis Green at the end of 92 was as popular as O'Connell is now, or more so. Like, people loved
was he was the drumming feature on the
new
Rosens?
Sheriff in town, though? Like, his original thing was there's a new sheriff in town, and there's going to be accountability here. And so, like, there was a period there where Green was immensely popular, and that team was fun.
I think I remember not being a huge fan of the Dalvin Cook draft pick when that happened in 2017, and thinking, like, why are they drafting a running back? They shouldn't have to. Like, Jerick McKinnon's fine. They already had signed Latavius Murray. I was like, why are they doing that? That was a waste of a draft pick. And then Dalvin Cook turned out to be a pretty damn good running back for the Vikings. So I know that one comes to mind, but trying to rack my brain on a team that I guess last year's Vikings, none of us saw them winning 13 games. I think we saw them as a potentially good team, but not a 13 win team either. So a kind of tough one to figure out from a team side.
Yeah, Case Keenum is the one that I think, like, as a player, just like, this guy, oh my God, this is going to be a season.
And
this guy's going to have to play 14 games.
They went to Pittsburgh? Was that the second or third game then after Bradford went down? They went to Pittsburgh. They lost, and I think we all thought, "Oh, this season is screwed."
Yeah, actually, Bradford was great for 1 year. I actually thought that was going to be kind of a train wreck too. Oh my God, they're trading a first-round pick for floppy sleeves, Sam Bradford. But he was a smart,
I like that trade.
Talented quarterback.
I think that worked out
at the time. I like that trade because I've always said this: you cannot parade Sean Hill out there for for 5 games.
Wasn't he like inactive the game after? He came in for an injury. He was
on the
Bradford.
Injury report and he didn't get hurt.
Week.
Oh God, my arm! Yeah. Like, his arm was like,
and he won. Right?
Yeah.
Didn't they win game 1? Beat the Titans. And yes, he was. And then Bradford started week 2. And I will never. That's one Rick Spielman trade that I actually, and I know in retrospect, a first-round pick's worth a lot, but I will never fault them. I'll fault them for not having potentially a better backup to Teddy, but they did what they had to do. Like, can you imagine going into that locker room after Teddy's leg explodes and being like, we are riding or dying with Sean Hill? Now, on Case, it was a chance, but Case actually was young enough where it wasn't as big of a shocker. I mean, Sean Hill, speaking of guys that would have just broken in half, if you had asked him to play by about game 3, like, his torso would have flopped off his legs, and that would have been the end of the season.
Oh, my God. Well, he would have lost some weight if that happens. But there's a better way to lose weight. It's called Livia.
Yes, and right now they've got a program that, well, one, it works, first of all. I've talked about this for quite some time. Guy on the left, Sports Dad. Guy on the right, it's Sports Dad. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching this live. Can you answer this question? Is that the same guy? Because the answer is yes, it is. And now you're asking, what did Sports Dad do? And I'm going to tell you, he followed a program that is as simple as it gets. It not only works to take the weight off, in my case, 40 pounds, but it also works to maintain the weight loss. And that is ultimately the most important thing. So if you are giving thought right now to, you know what? I want to drop some weight. I want to fit into clothes that I have not fit into for a while. Have I got an offer for you? The first 8 weeks are going to be free. Imagine dropping 20 pounds and it's free. 855-GO LIVEA, Livia.com, LIVEA.com. The program, I'm going to tell you right now, if it works for me, it can work for you. So give it a try.
You know what works for a lot of people is EcoFun. And EcoFun has so many fun toys for you to get into. So see these golf carts here you're watching on the YouTube channel at the bottom of the screen? This is a drone tour, by the way, of one of their locations. 2 of them in the Twin Cities, Forest Lake off I-35 and Burnsville off 35W and County Road 42. So they have a $1,250 4-seat EFI golf cart in stock, well, multiple, and on sale for $64.99. These things include a fold-out windshield standard at no extra cost, And you can also get them in 400 cc's with 4-wheel drive for $82.99. Just get a souped-up, badass golf cart to ride around wherever you want to, your community, whatever. Go to EcoFunMotorsports.com, EcoFunMotorsports.com. And if you stop in, tell them that Purple Daily and or Score North sent you. All right, that's a wrap on Feedback Friday here, a live Feedback Friday on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us all summer here. This is a daily Viking show, 365 days a year, even in July. Next week, Wednesday, the Netflix docuseries Quarterback comes out, featuring Kirk Cousins, Patrick Mahomes, and Marcus Mariota. We're going to be all over that late next week. So we're looking forward to that and some other stuff planned for the next few weeks as we count down the days until Vikings training camp. Daily Vikings entertainment on Purple Daily.